Let me then first of all welcome everyone in the call to the Best of the Paris Release webinar. And we've actually got a very fully packed agenda for you today. So let me just get right to the to that agenda. So we will have Anjo to go deeper into the new features released as part of the CSM and FSM module. We have our colleague from Belgium, Frederick, to talk about the HR service delivery module. Jochem for ITBM, Geert-Jan for ITOM, Wouter for ITSM, Sander from Belgium for SecOps, and Karel to talk about integrated risk management. So these will be the speakers, and it will actually be a show with a very high pace, a lot of topics, a lot of cool stuff to see. But there will also be a little bit of time at the end for some questions as well. So if you have those, just put them in the chat, and then we'll see if we can get round to those at the end. But as said, a fully packed agenda. So without further ado, Anjo, will you take it away with the CSM story?
Yes, thank you very much. There are, of course, a lot of nice features to talk about. CSM is kind of big. But there are three highlights that we want to share. Playbooks, the outsourced customer service, and any kind of improvements actually to the customer journey. But there's one specific example that we want to highlight there. One of the nice things actually for agents, for people working in your customer service desk or customer service organization, are the playbooks. And playbooks are a sort of run book to get your customers to the solution as fast as possible, in the most efficient way. And it really guides those customer service agents to, hey, what do you have to do? ServiceNow has a couple of playbooks prepared for you with frequent topics, customer complaints, onboarding, etc. And it really helps your agents to work in a more efficient way. And they can even see the status of the tickets when they are in different places in your organization to resolve certain issues. The second one is outsourced customer service. There are many customers, many organizations that use ServiceNow that have a very large service desk spread around the world. Follow the sun approach, 24/7 customer service. And this helps you to outsource that to certain vendors, certain partners that can help you with the customer service. Well, you have ServiceNow and they do the customer service for you to ensure you have all around the world support. You have the expertise whenever you need it, and maybe for certain cost savings, outsourcing customer service somewhere else.
Yep.
And the last highlight of CSM that we want to share is a improved customer journey. And this basically is for every one of you that uses the Adobe Experience Manager for your customer-facing websites, for the portals, for the experience that your customers go through. And ServiceNow right now can integrate with that, can talk with it. It can be embedded in your customer journey, in your Adobe Experience. So your customers have a single entry point, they have a unified experience, they know what's going on, and they don't have to leave your portal, your website, to read knowledge, to help themselves, but also create cases and communicate and interact with your customer service organization.
Great stuff, Anjo. Yeah.
Yes, it is very nice for customer service. And I will continue about field service management.
Okay.
Also here we have three highlights. Mobile enhancements, nice things, contractor management for field service, and a last mile customer experience. Yes, thank you, Elmer. So the mobile enhancements are mainly focused on your internal engineers, your field service agents, people that are really going to the field. ServiceNow listen to your requests, to demands, to things that are often asked, and they have really optimized the mobile agent to allow your field service engineers work more efficient. But also your planning organization, if enabled, can real-time track your engineers to plan tasks, to calculate the route times, and making sure that all the tight deadlines that the engineers may have are met. this links a little bit back to the customer service that we saw with outsourcing the customer service. But in ServiceNow, you can also outsource field service. There are many organizations or companies using ServiceNow that have a different department for field service management, or you have third parties doing certain activities for you, or maybe all activities. In Paris, we have a contractor management, which allows you to outsource those activities, to outsource the work, shift the responsibilities and the workload to your preferred partner, which can be one or more. And in that case, free up time for yourself while giving your partners a single portal where they can see all the work that they need to do for you. And a last enhancement that is really cool for field service management is links also back a bit to customer service management, to CSM, and it's the last mile customer experience. Together with the mobile enhancements that you've just very briefly heard about, there can be real-time or near real-time communication with your customers to keep them up to date. You're very transparent in this way about the work that is being done, when it's done, and customers can even see when your agent is leaving, if you enable it, of course, or real-time on the map where they are and what the status of all their work is that you are doing for them.
Yep. So I think that's it, Anjo. So thanks a lot for that very brief overview of CSM and FSM. Just a quick narrative on top of that. CSM is one of the most, let's say, the areas where ServiceNow is investing the most at the moment. So there's really a lot of developments. So what you have seen is only, let's say, a tip of the iceberg. The direction that ServiceNow is taking it is that they're moving more and more into let's say, the verticalization side of things. So they're also trying to make the CSM module more powerful, specifically for certain business verticals. And with the field service management that has been shown here in this last shot, it's almost like the Uber kind of experience where you exactly know when your taxi driver will arrive. So I think that's quite fancy. But on top of that, ServiceNow is also making a lot of investments in and also building that IoT component called connected operations to actually feed your field service force with relevant device data to ensure that you can actually proactively solve things before customers actually notice them. So a lot of interesting stuff happening here. But without further ado, let us continue to the HR service delivery side of things with Frederik. Frederik, please take it away.
Thank you, Elmer. So from the new functionalities that are introduced with the HR Service Delivery Suite, I think there are three that I would like to highlight today. First, the HR Agent Workspace, then the Campaign Designer, and then the Employee Relations. All right, first, the HR Agent Workspace. I think this is really a big plus for the HR agents that are working in order to know what they need to do. The challenge most of the time is that they have many tasks assigned to them, but they don't know what the priorities are. They don't know what to focus on. And thanks to the HR Agent Workspace, it really helps them to prioritize their work. And also, when working on a case, so a request or an inquiry from an employee, they also have in one single screen all the information that they need to perform their work. Most of the time, they might have to go to other screens to search for information. Now, thanks to the integrated search, they can also have access to other information by searching directly from the HR Agent Workspace. A second one, which is the Campaign Designer. So Campaign was already a functionality that was existing. And what is this? It is the ability that you have to communicate with specific audience from your organization. But in the past, setting up such campaigns, so communication to specific audience, was rather complex. And now what ServiceNow introduced, it is a new graphical user interface to allow people to easily set up such a campaigns, have an overview on which activities will be part of the campaign, and also very important, it makes people able to reuse content that they used or that they created in the past.
So if you want to, let's say, do a COVID-19 communication, this could be something to do here, Frederick.
Definitely. Yes, indeed, definitely. So that's really also a big plus from the Paris release.
Yep.
And then last but not least, also a very sensitive topic. It's called employee relations. In the past, there was already something introduced by ServiceNow to tackle such types of cases, but now they really enhanced it. So that's what I call the employee relations 2.0. Now it's a new functionality. There is a real workflow behind to handle those very complex processes that most of the time involve multiple parties. And now with this solution, you're able to collect information, collect allegations from the different parties, and centralize all the information in the platform, and also take corrective measures. And everything then is captured in the solution. And of course, it's the key for such type of cases is the privacy and security is very important. And that's also something that, that is also integrated. And last but not least, also as HR, you want to have an overview. And thanks to the new solution, they also have dedicated dashboards where you can see what the status is and what you need also to pay attention to.
Yeah, great stuff, Frederick. Thanks very much. I think here's also definitely where you see stuff like machine learning kick in, so that you can really provide that better experience, and also to make it easier with those kind of campaigns that you can be running. So great overview. Thank you for that. Next topic, keeping up the pace. Jochen, for the innovations of Paris associated to the ITBM area.
Yes, thanks, Elmer. I think Paris was quite an exciting release from an ITBM perspective, but I managed to choose three features that I like most. I would like to point out that there are many more other features released as part of the Paris release, and you can find more on those on our social media channels like YouTube and LinkedIn. But then let's say what made the top three. The first one I would like to mention is scenario planning. So if you can go to the next slide. Yeah, so this was released as part of the PPM suite. So scenario planning provides, let's say, portfolio managers with the possibility of creating different versions of portfolio year plans consisting of projects and demands. And with the option to be, let's say, compare them against each other on things like strategic alignment, resourcing, cost, and benefits. And besides that, it also provides insight in the execution of those portfolio plans. And I think this is in the end helping portfolio managers to let's say constantly balance and improve the composition of the portfolio. In order to meet, let's say, today's complex environment and disrupting events like we've seen this year. The second one I would like to mention is mobile timesheeting. I think timesheeting has always been perceived as a very, let's say, time-consuming activity, and nobody really liked it. But I would say, so in the end, we all see the value and the benefits of time writing. And let's say making it as easy as possible for users to enter that time will help them. So I think for all the users who are commuting home on Friday afternoon and think, oh, I forgot to do my time writing, as of now, they can do it from their mobile phone. Then the third one I would like to mention is related to application portfolio management. I think in the past couple of releases, APM has evolved to an application that basically can also be considered as an alternative way to, let's say, maintain and manage investment decisions. But then not over the axis of projects, but over the axis of applications. In the sense that applications support strategic capabilities, which can be assessed. And from that, let's say, change initiatives, projects, but also, let's say, epics and stories can be defined in order to improve those capabilities. And with that also contribute to the overall strategy of an organization. And I think this new feature, business application lifecycle management, basically leverage the platform capability of the service catalog in order to, let's say, request new application or retire application, request architecture review, And with that, also provides you with the opportunity to manage the entire life cycle of applications in ServiceNow. So those were my top 3.
Very relevant stuff. So I believe that actually I've been talking with some customers about scenario planning for years already. So it's actually great that it's now finally in the tool, and also that there's a lot of other stuff that has been included. So thank you for that, Jochen. I think that's good input. Going to the next topic about IT operations management. Geert-Jan, could you take it away, please?
Yes, Elmar. Till recently, ITOM was really feature-driven. And in the past years, the focus within the ITOM suite was on improving the current features like discovery and service mapping. In Paris, we see that ServiceNow ITOM is slightly changing directions. And ServiceNow found, in my opinion, a solid way to embrace other tooling, and in combination with the CSDM 3.0 development, this is a great way forward. Next to that, the discovery license is back. In the past year, this was only sold in combination with a service mapping bundle. And this was sort of withholding some of our customers. If you could go to the next slide. Till the Paris ServiceNow release, till Paris ServiceNow was focusing on a single source of truth for populating a single CMDB. This single CMDB is great, but having a single source for filling the CMDB was selling itself short. With the choice for a service graph and the robust transformation engine and the partner program, it becomes easier to include data from other sources than discovery in the ServiceNow CMDB, hence making data available for more purposes and enabling processes. This leads to more insight, better decisions, and less risk. Currently, ExtraHop, YAML, SCCM, Intune, SolarWinds, Qualys, Datadog, and quite a few other are available, and much more are expected quickly. For me, this is a great step forward. It fits the vision where ServiceNow operates in a DevOps environment. And we've learned that no single solution covers every use case, but we expect that combining the data will lead to better results. So when you're embarking on a CSDM or DevOps journey, this functionality will really help you. We go to the next slide. As mentioned, ServiceNow has started to sell discovery as a loose product again. And for customers who have use cases which are not really related to service mapping, like compliance, asset management, this makes a lot of sense. And with the service graph, the robust transformation engine, tagging-based services, we expect that this will happen more often. Most customers are aware that from a compliance and priority 1 incidents perspective, firewalls and SSL certificates are still a big source of issues. From ITOM point of view, a lot was possible already, but it required a lot of customizations, and ServiceNow is improving this drastically in the Paris release, by featuring options to solve that and cover that more. And what we see is in the whole platform is that ServiceNow is using more and more intelligence, helping engineers and agents pointing out where to start and what to do and how to improve. Next slide. ServiceNow further improves a lot on the operator workspace by, for example, bundling events. This will lead to faster resolution of incidents, and they combine this with the decommissioning of the event monitoring dashboard, since most of the functionality is replaced by the operator workplace. And the introduction of an agent which will replace the help desk. This will further help customers. This development is really a clear example of how ServiceNow is using the data to help improving the results. Last but not least, ServiceNow introduced several new cloud connectors for the HashiCorp Terraform, Google, and IBM. This was it.
That was it. Thanks, Geert-Jan. I think also here a great overview, and ITOM remains to be a very exciting area of developments with the things that just mentioned, with the graph connectors. And indeed, if we can get all that data in ServiceNow, it will really help in running your operational processes. So great overview. The next stop is Wouter, that will dive deeper into the subject of IT service management. Wouter.
Yes, thank you very much, Elmar. So for IT service management, we have 3 main topics. First is IT hardware asset management. Then we have a bit about Flow Designer for the service catalog. And finally, ITSM Predictive Intelligence Workbench. To start off, hardware asset management is new. It's expanding on the IT asset management that we already know, but it will now have a dedicated place for your hardware asset management. This is a licensable application that on activation provides advanced workflow, automation, and also mobile capabilities to easily maintain your assets. With the hardware asset management application, you'll be able to automate your asset lifecycle. get visibility and control of your hardware assets throughout your IT environment. Easily conduct scheduled or unplanned audits of your stock rooms and other locations, where you can also leverage the ServiceNow Agent mobile app to scan your assets. Then we go on to the Flow Designer for Service Catalog. For me, this is a personal favorite, as it's taking quite a big step in maturity. First off, the Paris release introduces the ability to run a flow with specific privileges rather than just current user or system. Also, it has added multi-row variable support, and you'll be able to submit catalog items directly from the flow. This indicates that Flow Designer is here to stay and will take over even more automation from the current workflows. And finally, we have the ITSM Predictive Intelligence Workbench. Next slide, please.
I think we are.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I had a bit of lag. The ITSM Predictive Intelligence Workbench is introduced in the Paris release. This is also an application. It provides you with the machine learning tools you will need to quickly and effectively resolve your IT incident tasks and improve your IT organization. So the workbench comes with pre-built use case templates that will systematically guide you through the process of creating and training new predictive models, evaluating them, testing them, and adding them to your business process to further reduce your mean time to resolve.
Great, Wout. Thanks a lot. I was actually this week discussing with a customer on that hardware asset management thing, and specifically in large enterprises when there's a huge volume in asset replacements or workplace replacements or loaner laptops, and it's actually there's really so much work involved, and we've made an assessment on the features that will be released in Paris and onwards, and it really seems to be that there are huge opportunities for saving time and costs based on that. So thank you very much, Wouter. And let's now continue also to the SecOps story with Sander.
Yeah, hello, thank you, Elmer. So we will be discussing the changes on the Paris release for security operations in ServiceNow. We will highlight 3 of them. So we will start with the application vulnerability management. That's of course on a protection. It's an extension of the vulnerability management application. Then we will continue on the cyber resilience playbooks. That's how can we standardize response on security incidents. And then lastly, we'll also look at a new integration that has been added by ServiceNow, one of the many, but I think this is a very big one. It's the Azure Sentinel. So it's the CM from Microsoft for all Microsoft tooling. So yeah, so the next slide. So the first one that I would like to discuss is the application vulnerability management. It provides a solution for customers with a lot of custom application built in-house or built anywhere else to also cover vulnerability measures on those custom applications. So not only relying on the usual vulnerability scanning tools like Tenable or Qualys, but also relying upon more custom vulnerability solutions, and also be able to track them and be able to use their risk categorization, and based on intelligence you can build in, you can also make target rules for giving a good prioritization and giving the right priority to this vulnerability. So that was this. So that was everything to protect your organization a bit better now. So what else did they improve highly at the Paris release? It's cyber resilience playbooks. We already mentioned the playbooks at the first, I think at HRDS. So playbooks are really there to standardize processes, to help you as an organization to always be able to respond on a security incident in a very similar manner. So examples that are pre-built in ServiceNow are malware detection. It could also be phishing attacks. It can be various, but you can also now easily create your own playbooks yourself. And then lastly, I think I really like this one. It's the full integration with Microsoft Azure Sentinel. So this will definitely help you to respond more intelligent on security threats coming from your Microsoft environment.
Yeah, Great, that's great, Sander. Thank you. Thanks a lot for this. And with of course, we have everyone working from home and dialing in from home. That topic of security probably has never been more important than right now. So a lot of good stuff that has been released. So as you can already see, we're doing it at a quite of a high pace. Of course, there is also room to ask questions in the chat. So if you have any, then please do so. And while you are, we will go into the last topic of today with Karel, who will talk about integrated risk management. So Karel, please take it away.
Thank you, Elmer. So yeah, also here 3 highlights in the Paris release in the integrated risk management area. So to start with the application portfolio management integration with integrated risk management. So basically also a little bit picking up where Jochen and Sander left off. A nice link here, so to speak. Then some really cool, yeah, let's say improvements in the advanced risk assessment suite as part of integrated risk management. And last but not least, the brand new business continuity management solution offered in the ServiceNow store. Can go to the next slide. So as of 2 weeks, I can see that my picture is not showing here. Yeah, maybe you can skip forward. Thanks. Thank you, Elmer. Please, yeah. So yeah, so as of 2 weeks, ServiceNow released a brand new integrated risk management accelerator app that integrates application portfolio management with integrated risk management. And to start with, I'm really very excited about this feature, as we're actually already working with one of our customers in a pilot implementation with this solution. And to me, yeah, so far it shows really great potential and benefits. And I think that this is, let's say, really yet another game changer by ServiceNow in the GRC domain, in which they have also been investing and growing in rapidly in the last few releases. Yeah, and to me, I think it's really, let's say, another crucial puzzle piece that was still missing, which also even further bridges the gap between the enterprise IT operational layer and the second line of defense, risk and compliance, basically. So yeah, in very short, it provides an end-to-end application risk assessment workflow. So basically what happens is that once an application is created, a risk identification flow is triggered. And then the IT application owners can provide additional information in an application assessment questionnaire. This can then be, let's say, reviewed by a second line of defense, by risk and compliance, after which an inherent risk assessment is started to determine, let's say, application risk factors such as confidentiality, integrity, and availability scoring, regulatory impact, financial impact, etc. And then this results in the end in, let's say, an overall application risk score, after which then the appropriate policies and controls and control frameworks are automatically mapped. So in summary, the key benefits, let's say, less effort needed by second line of defense. It can have even a more passive and more effective role. Much better information exchange between that first and second line of defense. So application portfolio managers and risk and compliance departments, and real-time insight into business criticality. Next slide, please, Elmer. So some real cool improvements also in the already existing advanced risk assessment suite. So what users can now do is they are able to, let's say, assess any object directly in ServiceNow without having to, let's say, set up the entire GRC suite. So we can create risk assessment methodologies to trigger advanced risk assessments for any object in ServiceNow. So that's applications, projects, departments, anything that you want. So, and in line with that, I also want to address some improvements in the project portfolio management and GRC integration that was already there. Also a lot of really exciting improvements here. Users can now basically manage project risks by using the project risk assessment capability to identify risks in a structured way and then apply the appropriate policies and controls, which flow then back, of course, into the central GRC management dashboards. Key benefits, outcome, basically, we now have a fully integrated enterprise-wide risk management platform. So then next slide, Elmer. Last but not least, so last year, end of 2019, ServiceNow acquired Fairchild, which is an innovator and industry recognized player in the field of business continuity management software. And with the Paris release, ServiceNow now incorporated, let's say, the Fairchild Code and industry standards and best practices into the platform, and now offers, let's say, an end-to-end business continuity management application and solution, which can help organizations, of course, when a business is impacted or disrupted during a crisis. So some key features, 4 key features: business impact analysis, business continuity planning, exercise management, and crisis management. And basically your key benefits as depicted here on the right, avoiding surprises, faster recovery when something happens, faster informed decision-making in a bad situation, and faster user adoption because it's of course already on a platform that you're used to.
Yeah, great stuff, Kyle. And again, a lot of things very relevant to today's situation. So business continuity is top of mind everywhere, and also indeed that other point that the GRC solution is really maturing to be used not just within the IT space, but it can actually be used to cover your full company-wide compliance needs. Is just a very interesting development that will allow you to. Also looking at the price of the license, the more you can make use of it, that will actually help you in basically getting a better ROI on that on this product. So I think very interesting developments. So all the speakers today, you've already seen also in the slides that they have prepared, is that there's let's say relevant things that within each of the modules that are being released. There was also a line in there that gives you some, let's say, some ideas on what the impact is on when you want to use these features, whether there's an upgrade impact or those kind of things. So what we see is that the actual impact of implementing new features quite heavily depends on the way that your current environment is performing, the health of your current environment. So together with the team of architects, we created kind of a health assessment that we can actually perform to allow you to get insights in where are the deviations compared to out of the box, and what kind of impact is then coming from that when you want to take advantage of these new features. So this is something that if you're doubting or if you are struggling with adopting new stuff, then it might make sense to do this kind of assessment so that you know where to improve and how to move forward more quickly. And a related topic to that is that what we are also seeing a lot these days is that we are working with customers in the area of the common service data model. The common service data model is, of course, that foundational data set that relates, that underpins all those different modules. And if you really want to have ServiceNow be able to provide you workflows that cut across all the different departments, then that CSDM model is actually an essential piece of the puzzle to have in place in order to actually make use of all those great new features and to make it work in an integrated manner. So that's the let's say the highlighting the importance of a solid CSDM and basically a healthy instance in order to reap those advantages. So moving on to the Q&A here, questions and answers. I'm going to rely a little bit on Maria in this case to see whether we have any, and if she could prompt them maybe.
Yeah, Elmer, there's no Q&A coming in yet. We had a few pre-submitted questions, and I'll give the audience just a few seconds to have an opportunity to submit one via the Q&A feature.
Yeah, let's wait a moment. So again, so if you would like to do a deep dive on any of the topics, or would like to allow one of the speakers to maybe elaborate a bit more on one of the things that sparked your interest, but again, considering that we wanted to cover a lot of ground, we might not, let's say, go into the right level of depth, then please submit your questions, and otherwise we'll move indeed on to the pre-submitted ones. Maria, where are we?
Yeah, so what's new in HRSD, I think, was probably covered already in today's session.
Yep.
And the other one, let me just pull it up here 1 second. Another question is there consideration or embedment of event management / alerting integration into the call on schedule a la Ops Genie style?
Yeah.
So if we don't have an answer right off the bat, then we can follow up because we do have the contact info that submitted the questions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll let you delegate that one, Elmer.
Yeah, maybe Geert-Jan, let's relay that to you. So the question is, are we expecting any Ops Genie kind of functionality to support teams when events hit? That's, I think, my free translation of that question. Geert-Jan, are you aware of any developments?
Yeah, I am. It's not there. Basically within Platformation we discussed it several times since we indeed really like the functionality. I understood that it is on the backlog, but it's I don't know in which release it will be, and it's not there currently. But yeah, I agree that it would be a great great functionality, and it really fits the way that ops teams work. We have seen the integration with Ops Genie, and there actually it works really good where you use the CMDB from ServiceNow, and you use Ops Genie for that specific ops part. So it's especially what I said from ITOM, that ITOM is ServiceNow ITOM is much more open now to integrate with other parties. I think this would also be an example. So I don't know for sure if the Ops Genie service graph is already there, but it would be a logical one to watch out for.
Yeah.
Would that answer the question?
I think it does. I think so a summary, not now, but very relevant and hopefully soon to be released. So perhaps in the Quebec. Maybe going to Quebec. So Maria, if there's not any further questions, then let me also...
Yeah, there is one additional question, Elmer.
Right.
What are the improvements in the field of scheduling, team calendar, and planning workload? What is Now Planner, and how do these compare to Plan Board for You developed by Platformation?
That's a good question. So there is actually developments in the with our own app. So we're actually let's say moving that Plan Board for You into a new app, and that will be soon be released. I think that in order to provide that full comparisons, is it Jochen? Is it something that you can maybe dive into? Are you prepared to answer that question, or shall we get back to that?
No, I can say a little bit about it. So what we also see, but that didn't really make the top 3 because in the end you have to choose. We saw, let's say, from a PPM perspective, quite some improvements also in the area of resource planning with the allocation workbench. But I think so that's good news. I think, let's say, for the future, I think ServiceNow is also looking at a more general way in which you do resourcing. So, for example, you have resourcing for PPM, which is now basically done via the allocation workbench. But also, let's say, for field service management, there is a different view on how you do resourcing. Agile has a different view. Also, let's say, managing team capacity for DevOps activities. And they are looking in ways to, let's say, providing a sort of general way in which you can do resourcing. Because in the end, I think that's also where organizations are heading. If ServiceNow is your system of work, and you see that the teams are not, let's say, only doing, let's say, change or only doing ops work, then that should also be provided from a ServiceNow perspective. But it's not something that I think can be expected for Quebec already.
No, thanks for that, Jochen. Any other questions, Maria, or shall we go?
Yes. Yeah, I'll read it to you and you can answer this live, Elmer. This is one from the audience, and that's, what is the overall feeling of the Paris release, and how how do customers feel about it? Should we upgrade now?
Yeah, so I'll probably also relay this question also to some of the other people in the group. But what I'm seeing is that a lot of people are doing those upgrades because, yeah, it does, let's say, open up new functionalities and new features that are brought by the release. So people really want to stay current, and that's also, of course, the advice of ServiceNow to continuously try to stay as current as possible to ensure that you have the best experience from the platform. So I see a lot of organizations, yeah, really as soon as the Paris release comes out, that they are actually upgrading. So, and also I see a lot of big enterprises doing that. So I think that overall there is, what I hear, there is a lot of excitement, but that excitement differs, of course, per area where you are mostly interested in at your current ServiceNow journey. So that's my take on those things. But maybe if I would relay this to, for example, Frédéric, what do you see in terms of the excitement that people have or the eagerness to upgrade to Paris? Do you feel people held back, or?
Well, I think that people are like excited. I think in terms of HR, there are in fact customers that in the past had to build custom functionalities by themselves because it was not available. And now what we see in fact is by upgrading to Paris, some functionalities, the employee relation, for example, is typically something that customers are willing, but because there was no real workflow existing, then they had to build it custom. So now that is definitely going to help them also to streamline their process. So I think there is definitely excitement from that perspective.
Yeah, and I think you're also highlighting an important part, Frédéric, that with the new features, there's less need for customizations or less need for configurations. And of course, that in the end will keep your system more out of the box, and that will allow you actually to more easily adopt those new features. So it's actually, so staying current in that sense actually also helps in staying healthy from an instance perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, great point, Frédéric. What else, Maria?
That's it for questions, Elmer. I think we're ready to wrap.
We're ready to wrap. And in that case, Maria, thank you for supporting with the questions, the setup, the logistics, and everything like that. A big thank you also to Anjo, Frédéric, Jochen, Geert-Jan, Wouter, Sander, and Karel for their analysis of the new features and their presentations. And last but not least, of course, also a very big thank you for the people that have decided to spend some time with us. And I hope it was informative. I can imagine that it also raises maybe a lot more questions that got answered here. And then in that case, I really hope that you will reach out to us so that we can help you to get those questions answered. And the last thing to mention is that we are already preparing our Quebec release highlights webinar. So in case you would like to attend, just let us know. And in case there are specific items that you would like to discuss, then please let us know as well. So with that, everyone, thank you, and talk to you later.